Luoman Puutuote in Finland manufactures a wide variety of log construction and kit cabins suitable for a range of different purposes. In this video we're going to assemble a Luoman Puutuote log cabin which is easy to put together yourself. The first stage in the erection of the cabin is to locate a suitable position for it. The foundations for the cabin are prepared and the ground levelled. A good foundation for the cabin is frost-resistant chippings, for example. A spirit level and a long plank will help ensure that the foundations are perfectly level. The final levelling is carried out with joists. Once the foundations are ready, the kit can be opened. Assembly instructions and part lists are included both on the side of the kit and inside it. The logs and other components should be distributed round the construction site, keeping the components for each side together. At this stage, it's also a good idea to check that all the parts are present. To assist in identifying components, a steel measuring tape is useful. In the instruction book, the log dimensions are given in terms of thickness, working width and length. Once everything has been sorted out, the actual construction can begin. First, the joists are placed roughly in their correct positions. Then the lowest logs for the walls are placed on top of the joists and nailed at the corners. Nailing obliquely at the centre of the joint is the easiest method. Once the bottom course has been assembled, the diagonals should be measured, the distances between the joists checked, and the bottom course then nailed to the joists. The grooved installation blocks in the kit are essential for wall assembly, since the logs must not be hit directly with a hammer. The installation blocks are marked with a cross. When laying the logs, always ensure that each log fits snugly in place. Once 4 log courses have been laid, the door can be installed. After the door is in place, additional log courses are laid until the walls are so high that the window can be gently lowered into place. The window lattices should be on the outside. Once the window is in position, it should be tapped tightly down using an installation block. The best place for striking is at the top of the window uprights. The window and door handles are attached together with the window prop. At this stage of construction, the front wall may be slightly crooked, but it will straighten up once the first full-sized top log is laid precisely in place. There is now a certain amount of space above the door and window to allow for gradual settling of the logs. This gap will be covered up later. The upper log for the side wall is ready shaped and beveled to accommodate the angle of the roof. Once the side wall is in place, the gables can be installed. Then the ridge purlin and roof purlins are fitted. The ridge purlin is pre-shaped on both sides to fit the slope of the roof. The V-shaped hole in the ridge purlin is pressed into the hole in the gable. The roof purlins, which are installed after the ridge purlin, can be identified by their extremely straight upper edge. Next we move inside the cabin to lay the flooring. The first board is laid with the groove towards the wall. The smooth surface of the board should be uppermost. All the boards should be laid first and then nailed into place. Now a start is made on constructing the roof. The boards are laid starting at the end, with the groove outermost, and the end of the board in the centre of the ridge purlin. Nail into place. Before the roofing felt is laid, the fascia board should be attached with the heart of the board outermost. First, a 4-inch fascia board is nailed into place, and then on top of it a narrower fascia board. The upper edge of this must be flush with the surface of the roof. The roofing felt strips for the edge of the roof are laid. These become firmly attached by their tarry surface, which is adhesive. The strips should overhang the fascia boards by about 1 centimetre. Now the roofing felt tiles can be laid. The middle section of the first tile unit is laid at the centre of the wooden roof, and each section nailed at the top edge. The centre of the roof is determined by measuring. At this stage the roof is ready, and the end wall fascia boards can be attached. The fascia boards are nailed flush with the roof, starting at the centre of the ridge purlin. A verge board is nailed on top of the fascia boards to keep the roofing felt secure. The second fascia board is nailed on top of the first, flush with the top of the verge board. Now the veranda can be assembled. Some joists are laid as extensions to those under the cabin. The cut logs are fixed to the sides of the veranda first. The shorter log units are attached later to give the terrace rigidity. The groove in the top logs along the sides of the veranda has been removed to give the bench boards better support. The walls are now ready, and the veranda can be attached to the cabin. The top edge of the attachment board should be flush with the top edge of the veranda. At the opening in the veranda, grooved pieces of wood are slotted onto the log ends. Next, the bench boards are attached. The inner edges of the bench boards should be flush with the inside surface of the veranda. When installing the veranda floorboards, the heart side should be uppermost. The floorboards are installed starting from the cabin side. All the boards should be laid before the front board is nailed in place. The gaps between boards should be even, and the first board should overhang by about 1 centimetre. Short joists are laid under the veranda at the posts, after which all the floorboards can be nailed. The metal brackets are nailed to the posts and the short joists under the floor. Next, the so-called storm boards are attached to the cabin, on either the inside or outside. There's a slot in the top of the storm boards to permit settling. Key bolts are inserted in the bottom of the slot and in the hole at the bottom end of the storm board. Drip boards are attached to cover the gap left for settling over the door and window. The shorter drip boards are fixed above the window to the upper part of the window frame. These boards must not be nailed to the logs. The longer drip boards come over the door, covering the gap which permits settling. Finally, the inside of the cabin is finished off by nailing on the skirting. The cabin is now ready. Our brochure shows a lot of other cabin models as well.